and welcome to another episode of the Koalition Watches a TV series and a trailer. I am your host, Dana, and I'm joined once again by Mr. Danny Martinez. How are you, Mr. Danny Martinez?
Good. I was
Yes,
super excited once you told me that trailer came out this morning. So, yeah.
yes. The trailer dropped. There were rumors that there was going to be a trailer that dropped. We already know that there was one in New York Comic Con, San Diego Comic Con, some of the cons. They already got to see a little bit of the trailer, but now we finally get to see something, and it is something to see. We will be breaking this down, everything that has to do with Daredevil. But in order for us to kind of like fully break down it, we have to go back to the original Daredevil that aired on Netflix, the season 3 finale, which basically saw Matt Murdock becoming Daredevil and stepping into Man Without Fear. And in order for him to do that, he had a meeting with his mother, kind of forgave her about everything. He came to terms with that. And it also was kind of other people as well letting go of their past in terms of Karen, Foggy. They built that friendship and it had a really lovely connection as well that we've seen. Bullseye was also in it. And of course, Kingpin. Kingpin was in jail. He was in jail that whole time, arrested for his crimes. And then when we saw him Echo, that's when we saw him again. And that was a very divided version of Kingpin. Some people were like, I'm just happy to see him. And others was like, this is terrible. They made him a little cartoonish, a little kind of getting flung around. And it wasn't the Wilson Fisk that we know and love, but it seems like they're getting back to their roots after many rewrites. And people say, no, bullying works. So we seem to have gotten what we always wanted, which was a good continuation of that. And kind of like, please forgive us for our trespasses of what we did with Echo. But, you know, we do have to include Echo because the whole reason why we're seeing him as being, running for mayor was something that was part of the, sorry, my computer is, okay, was part of the finale of Echo. So I'm not sure if you remember the Echo finale.
I'd rather forget.
Mr. You rather forget? What do you at least remember the after credit scene?
No.
Okay, so then we're gonna have to just break that down just a little teeny tiny bit for people who do not remember. All right, it was very simple. So at the end of everything, Kingpin was on a plane, and he was on a plane. He wanted a meeting with kind of the remaining crime bosses to stabilize control and to basically regain control of the city of Nueva York, of New York City. Remember, Devil of Hell's Kitchen. Hell's Kitchen is around. You're a New Yorker originally. Mm-hmm. That's like in the 50s. 9th, 8th Avenue, 10th Avenue.
Mm-hmm. I live very close by, actually.
You live very close by. You are the El Devilo of the Hell's Kitchen. You are actually Daredevil. So, yes. So, going back in that plane, he was dressed serious. We didn't have that weird Hawaiian-looking suit. He was dressed very seriously. He was on the plane. He wanted a meeting with all the remaining crime bosses to stabilize control. He was seen, this is when we clipped to New York 1. New York 1 is one of those well-established news stations in New York City. It's kind of a staple for any kind of movie or TV show for New York. So Avengers played New York, Pat Karen. Anyway, that's not the point. Point of saying is that there's an upcoming New York City mayoral race. And there's no clear front runner. There's no one who really stands out. And, they're saying that the ideal New York candidate that people want as mayor is a fighter, is someone who works against the jaded career politicians. Let me know if this sounds very familiar. Politicians are jaded. We need something fresh. We need someone new to come in there. There are a lot of problems in New York City. Ding, ding, ding. And voters kind of long for someone who understands the real pain and frustrations that they're going through. And this is when he starts saying, a bare knuckles brawler would do well in this race. An outsider who is not afraid to take on the establishment. And then he looks into the camera, the anchor man kind of, they're having a discussion. Is that candidate even out there? No doubt it's late in the process, but there's still a window of opportunity. This can be anyone's race. And that's when Kingpin is like, well, look at here. You're talking about me. I think I should throw my hat in that bucket. It's going to be late, but I'm going to be the savior of New York City. And also, if you're part of the New York City, you're rising up in the ranks. You're able to meet other crime bosses and more things. So basically, in this situation, for people who are New Yorkers, he is Eric Adams, New York City mayor, who's also did some crimes and might be facing some time, but he's going to get a pardon. But that's neither here nor there. So that is to catch up with everything that happened. His desire is to be New York City mayor. And we see that kind of immediately when we go into this kind of trailer that they gave us. I don't know, trailer, teaser trailer. I think it's a trailer. What were your initial thoughts, just kind of overall? And then we'll break down everything because it does tie back to a lot of Avengers stuff. What were your thoughts?
So, I mean, I had to watch it a couple times to get more feeling of what's going on with everything. But the first initial one was, damn, it's violent. And that's I mean, that's a staple for the Daredevil show, and I'm glad they're going back to that. They're going back to more rated R thing, and hopefully we'll get Punisher back too. He's in the trailer, but I'm saying like his own show and all that. So yeah, the first thing I thought was that it's violent. It looks bloody. It looks dark. So I quite enjoyed that. It's definitely an escape from the bubbly, bright colored MCU stuff that we get a lot of the time. And then after I watched it a couple more times, yeah, it seems to be more dramatic. You could see a lot of anger in Daredevil, and Charlie Cox's portrayal of Daredevil and everything, and Wilson Fisk, D'Onofrio, I think he does an amazing job as Kingpin, and you still get that menacing, sort of like calm, like angry man that's just really unsettling. He just does a perfect job with it, and yeah, it can be a bit comic booky, but it should go that route anyways. Like enough with the grounded stuff. Like I love the Batman movies, but I'm kind of tired of the grounded realism. I want something more fantastical, something more fun, and this type of Kingpin is kind of like a meetup in between the middle there.
Really?
Yeah.
I got the complete polar opposite. We're finally getting Netflix back. I got like, this is serious. This gave me Batman and Joker vibes. And I say that only because they need each other, is what it seemed like. And even how they did the poster that they released, it's basically two sides of the same coin. Like they need each other.
Oh yeah.
One can't fully operate without the other one. They've both been on a sabbatical, which is in the trailer, kind of laying low, working at their own whatever. One is trying to be a mayor, the other one's being just a regular lawyer. And we're forgetting about everything that happened in She-Hulk. God bless. But
wait, did they retcon that? Are they ignoring that at all of that?
I'm ignoring it. Now, whether or not we have a conversation, there's no need to be like, hey, I spent my time with this green lady who looks like the Hulk.
For Daredevil, that's something to gloat about, man. I would too. Tatiana Maslany. Woo.
I get it, but this is not the time and place, and I don't want to see her in this. God bless. I do not want to see her in this. Because this really gave me like, and we had the Penguin, and obviously Daredevil came out way before Penguin, but we're getting those grounded characters again. And I think that the MCU, because of how vast they've become, they can give us witch. They can give us comedy. They can give us, let's go to space. They can give us monsters and aliens. But please give us this. Give us grounded realism, and this, I believe, is part of their Spotlight series, which is not overall connected, but it is connected. I'm not really sure where we're going with that in terms of this spotlight, but I believe it is part of their spotlight series.
They did
But
say that
either way, I'm
they're going to
happy.
focus on
Yeah.
Spotlight being more of a grounded series and stuff, because hopefully if they're working on an entire I don't know what type of genre of content called Spotlight, then I would assume they're trying to bring in more stuff. So hopefully we get back. We already know we're getting Punisher, but hopefully we get back Jessica Jones and Power Man dude. What's his name?
Iron Fist?
No, well,
No, Luke Cage. Luke Cage.
Luke
Luke
Cage.
Cage.
Yes, Luke Cage. I hope we get Iron
Oh.
Fist, but maybe they should
Mm.
they should definitely recast and start it over.
Yeah, here's the thing. I do completely agree with you. That's wrong for me to say, no, not Iron Fist. One person, can tank an entire series, but at the same time, I do believe if you have the right actor and the right everything. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Was that character in the comic originally Asian?
No, he was a white man. Yeah.
He was a white man. Okay. Because I know there was a lot of controversy with Iron Fist when it came out. I just don't remember.
Yes,
anything,
people who
was
didn't know
over
about the
10 years
comics.
ago.
That's pretty much just people looking to get pissed off about anything. But originally, yes, he was, and that was the whole point in the comic too, was that he was a fish out of water. He was in a different culture, and yeah, that was the point.
Right. Okay, but we can both agree that either way, no matter what it was or the ethnicity, it was terrible.
Yeah.
He was terrible in it. And I do think, respectfully, that, recasting would be good, retconning that whole thing would be nice. And then we can go from there and then maybe incorporate it with Shang-Chi, because it's not like the dude who played the character is doing anything right now.
Well, he's doing plenty outside. Like, he's doing some TV shows and entrepreneur stuff and all that, but I haven't seen him act in quite a while.
That is true. I did see him last time was in Author of the King, which is the one with somebody. But we're getting completely off topic here for a minute. We're going to pivot back to the original conversation. Sorry. And that is this trailer. And with this, we have to start from the very beginning. Matt and Kingpin are sitting at a diner. And you could clearly see this one right here was like, oh, I don't remember parts of Daredevil, but he is a married man now. He is married. He has a ring on that finger. Kingpin is what I'm referring to. I don't know where, but here we go. He's married. There's a ring. He liked it, so he put a ring on it, which made me very happy. So you could see like some time has passed. Since I'm probably even in part of Echo series. So some time has passed. He meets with Kingpin. Kingpin is married. And we do see like, it goes in and out with different scenes. And it does look like it's Muse fighting someone with a hatchet, which may be, sorry, John Baratheon's Punisher. I'm not exactly sure because it goes by so fast. At first, I was like, that's Wilson Fisk, but I'm like, he doesn't move like that. I don't think he can move like that. But it is definitely, I would assume, Punisher. So he's getting, attacked with a hatchet, or someone's getting attacked with a hatchet. And then it kind of switches back over where they're talking again. And we see that he's saying that it's not entirely unpleasant to see you. So it seems like he misses his little Daredevil, which is where I kind of got the Batman Joker vibes from. One can't really live without the other one. They hate each other, but they kind of feel a love there. They miss each other. So he definitely misses his little Daredevil. And he says that, Matt is now a successful lawyer, as we saw him walking down the street with Karen and Foggy, which they brought back, which made everyone happy, including myself, because they wasn't originally in the original script, which just infuriated everyone. So they are back, which everyone is much happier about. And then we go and we see that one of the things here that really stuck out, it flips to another scene where we see that he is running for mayor. So you see this here, he's walking into a kind of about to maybe have a press conference, maybe some kind of meeting of sort. But then here, we have, this was very interesting to me. So we have him, I'm going to assume either he won his mayoral race or this is him making his announcement. But the fact that it's so big in terms of he's on every screen, it makes it seem like he won. And it's the Times Square, so you see this New Year's Eve. So from my understanding, they usher in a new mayor on January 20th, which I don't know what's going on. No, it's before that. It is New Year's Eve. It can be. Because I'm just going back from when Eric Adams, the mayor of New York City, was sworn in. It was during New Year's Eve. And he made it a big thing to have a huge showing during the ball dropping. So this is what it really feels like to me. I could be completely wrong. I'm just assuming. But also, what I found interesting about this photo, which kind of I love, Rogers the Musical is still there. It's still going strong. So we have Rogers the Musical is still going. We have, look at the sign here. We have a Pim, the C Pim products is over on the left, right hand side where it says Price Lock. And then you see the Happy New Year above on the side of the building. That is Pim Von Dyne. So Pim is there. There looks like some kind of writing that talks about Black Paradise. Maybe that's some kind of acknowledgement of Wakanda. I couldn't get who the quote was by, but we do see it fully integrated in terms of the MCU. So I kind of like that. It was like, this is kind of little cool little snitbit, little tiny, things. And of course it's really crowded because it's New Year's Eve. And of course it's all full of tourists because real New Yorkers do not go to see the ball drop. It is a hellscape. You're a part of New York. You remember this. I'm pretty sure you've never seen the ball.
Never went once.
We're not even intrigued by it. It's just terrible. It's really cold. It can either rain. And never, they wear diapers. You have to wear a diaper and you stand there for hours. And we're talking people get there at like 6 in the morning. So you're there from 6 in the morning. You see this ball drop and then you go home. And to me, it's just like, there's no point to it. So anyway, he says, Kingpin says, a mayor serves his city. And I'm like, oh. So, he's giving that speech. And you could see it's kind of really serious, but also a little charisma that he gave. I don't know how you felt about that speech, but him setting out the whole outline of him. We don't really know what his full plan is of New York City, but he's basically saying, I'm going to assume that this would be part of the speech that he gives, either when he wins, maybe during the debate, maybe him just introducing himself to the world. It seems like, but he says, a mayor serves his city. I can serve, and then we switch over to Muse. So we have the city here, which I don't know which part of the city is that.
125th Street, probably.
It's not 125th Street.
No.
I really, really thought it was 125th Street. I had other people say that it was Jerome Avenue on the 4 line. Don't know what that is, but you could clearly see that it is New York City. So then we switch over and we see the Muse. We see Muse. He is doing a mural. And this is really interesting because to me, and I can get your opinion on this, it seems like there's 2 versions of Fisk. I'm going to assume they're both Fisk. What was your thoughts on that image there?
So I didn't really look at it in the artistic sense. I was actually more paying attention to just Muse in general, because my first thought was like, okay, this must be the origin of him, because Muse as a villain, and again, I think Muse is a great way to start this new series, because Muse as a villain is a very rated R villain. He's very violent with his work, and what he is, he's a graffiti artist, but not in the traditional sense, because he uses bodily organs and blood and body parts and lots of all that stuff. So for me, assuming that this is Muse, I was just like, I guess this is before he started all that stuff, I would assume. So, but as for the art itself, now that we're talking about it, I can see that. I can see that he knows the 2 sides of Fisk, and that he's aware of it, and he's trying to make it known. Maybe maybe people are gonna consider his art kind of like, Banksy style. People don't know who he is, but his art kind of speaks to people and stuff. But we'll see.
We'll see. And well, the only reason kind of why I say that is because right when they show the painting is when Daredevil, what's Daredevil's name? Lord Jesus.
Matt Murdock.
Um, Matt Murdock. Sorry, I don't know why I forgot that. So the only reason why I say that is because Matt Murdock says, "I can't shake the feeling you're gaming the system."
Mm-hmm.
So that you're using the system for your nefarious ways. So that's kind of the only reason why I said it. It's like you get this upstanding, politician kind of on the left side, but you see it standing behind him being the real, horrible human being that he really is. Which you kind of see difference in the face and in the chin, like, oh, this guy is disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I could be reading too much into it. I don't know until we actually see it. But that's kind of the feeling that I got there. And then after that, it was like, why did you stop being a vigilante? And this is the part where it seems like something really personal happened to Daredevil. We see the mask fall. I thought this imagery was beautiful.
Yeah.
I love this. You see the horn is broken off. It falls down onto the city. And, this was the moment where Daredevil quit. We don't know what that moment is, but basically something very personal happened to him. He said a line was crossed. And that's when it falls all the way down to the ground. And I don't know what was going on. I don't know if that's Muse. I don't know if that's someone else. It could be Bullseye, who was also in this trailer. So I like the fact that, something really happened that was really personal to him. And then we see him carrying his body. And I was like, maybe a child died. It could be a child. I don't know. But it's clear to see that there's some kind of like maybe a bomb exploded. And then we have this complete rubble and someone died. Maybe. Who's to say that Karen or Foggy? Maybe that's Foggy. I don't know. Maybe Foggy died. And the scene that we get of them all happy walking together is just maybe a flashback of like, yeah, we're happy. And then the next scene, he's dead.
That's one of those theories that when you first mentioned Karen and Foggy, and yeah, the internet kind of was pissed because they weren't going to be in this show and they had to kind of write them in. I feel like they kind of shoehorned them in. So I'm wondering if they shoehorned them in to just kind of like give them a couple parts here and there, and we're not going to see them much anymore, and they probably just end up killing them off somehow, or one of them at least.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah,
that's actually terrible because remember they grew closer because Karen revealed that she killed her brother as well as James Wesley. So, jeez Louise. I mean, that'll do it. So we don't know, but that could happen, and that would be one of the reasons why he quits being a vigilante. It became really personal for him, and we don't know who's responsible for that death or even that explosion. So that could be really interesting in that whole aspect. I really hope that that's not true. I really feel that it doesn't do a service to the fans who really wanted them. So then we kind of see that as I said, we get to a prison. We get to the prison. And we see that, what's his name? Bullseye has returned for this show. Bullseye has returned, and he is now in prison. Meanwhile, he's being in prison, but there's still all this crime that's happening. I don't know if Bullseye is responsible for the crime, but there is this huge bank robbery scene. And this is when we have Matt Murdock as regular Matt Murdock, and they pull a shotgun to his head. Now, I don't know if he's going to show up to show out, but there's a lot of gunmen here, and they all have weapons. So I don't know how we're going to go with this. Maybe he can't do anything. And that goes about what, Fisk was saying. Crime basically is on the rise, and we need someone who's going to be able to stop this crime. And then this is kind of what I was wondering. We'll get into a little bit later on. Maybe we get a team up. It kind of gave me team up vibes. I don't know.
With who?
Kind of Daredevil and Fisk.
I know a part of the synopsis of the show. They do mention that one of the main themes of the show is that Wilson Fisk, if he's elected mayor, that he's going to try to push against vigilantes trying to take over the city. And vigilantes meaning people like the Punisher, which is why he's on the show, and people like Daredevil. And I would assume, because I know we're going to talk about him later, but people like White Tiger and even Muse, if you want to mention the Muse as well. So like Wilson Fisk is his main idea for his campaign is that he's going to stop vigilanteism. So I don't know if they will do a team up.
Maybe. I mean, I kind of viewed it as we need to get rid of our common enemies, and then we can go back to hating each other.
Mm.
You know, it'll make me look good. It'll probably feed your soul, Murdock, to become Daredevil again. I don't know. But, you know, them kind of meeting, the thing was like, hey, in the very beginning, it kind of seemed like they missed each other.
Yeah.
And, you know, Wilson was kind of angry, like not angry, but like, why did you stop being a vigilante? What's going on in your life? Let's have a conversation. What's happening here? Maybe we can help each other out for a moment. And also kind of right after that, Wilson says, you know, the city can't go unchecked. Now that also goes with the vigilanteism that you was referring to as well. But I kind of also viewed it as him saying that to Matt, saying the city is completely out of control and is being unchecked. And what you did was to check that, you know, check the city, make sure everything was all right. So then and also that can also go into Wilson Fisk with the painting of him being two-faced in terms of, look, I need you to help clean up the city, but then also at the same time, I'm actively working to stop you and to make sure that you're getting arrested and we never see vigilanteism again. I don't know.
Playing both sides.
Maybe. But he does say that, you know, sometimes peace needs to be broken. That also is what throws me. Because everyone right now is at peace, maybe not, but peace needs to be broken. We need to, you know, come out of the shadows again. And then this was really interesting here. We do have an interaction with Daredevil and Vanessa. Now, let me know if this was wrong, because I don't know. So we have them at kind of like a gala where Vanessa is dancing with Matt Murdock, and then it immediately cuts to this scene. Is that Vanessa?
I was thinking the same thing, but I don't think so. I think that might be Deborah Ann Woll. Maybe. I don't know. No, probably not.
Does not look like Deborah.
Probably not. I don't know.
Because I was like, oh.
I thought the same thing, but that's
grimy.
That's I don't know. I have no idea. Maybe.
Because I don't know. And I was like looking at cheekbones and going at different angles. I mean, they don't give you much to go with. But I was like, that's dirty. If that is true. But I don't see that because she was such a diehard ride or die for him. Unless it's some type of weird plan. But Daredevil, Matt Murdock, even if he's blind, he would know that that's Vanessa. Because he met Vanessa.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that scene is. But I'm very intrigued by this scene here. You know, and I'm like, maybe it's them making a deal with each other. Like, hey, go seduce Matt Murdock. But that just doesn't make any sense. I'm so confused as to what is going on. But yeah, this scene here. So on another scale, then we're gonna get some sexy time in Marvel, which we have never gotten before. I don't think it'll be close to, you know, getting coffee.
I mean, he got it on with She-Hulk. We can count that still, right?
That was comedic. That was like, you know, a comedic thing where she kicked him out the house and he's walking home but has a little smile on his face. This looks like actual drama. Now, granted, I don't think we're going to see much of much, but like this is just it's like, oh, this is Hulu. It's a Hulu show. I'm liking this. Maybe a little FX thrown in there. But I was pleasantly surprised and very confused because I'm like, I know that can't be Vanessa. But we do see that scene there. And then he says chaos must reign. Even more confusion for me. Because I'm like, it feels like you need to maybe the city needs to maybe the city needs to be worse so that they can come in to save it. I don't know. But it's all confusing. And then we get the whole return of Punisher, who attacks him with a knife. Well, not a knife, a machete. I mean, not a machete, a hatchet.
Mm-hmm.
He tells him, put the hatchet down. So we do know that he's back, but more importantly, we know that he is disturbed at this point.
What else is
he
new?
is going through something. What else is new? Marvel love their PTSD characters, and that's what we're getting with this. We're getting full-blown PTSD. Remember in the very beginning, it looked like someone was being attacked with, it opened with someone being attacked with a hatchet. I don't know if that was Punisher or maybe it was Muse and some other random white guy. But yeah, we get that. And then here we go with another one I was raised to believe in grace. I don't know what that means, but he was raised to believe in grace. And this is kind of when we get more of the Muse scene here. More of the Muse, which I think for just like regular grounded costuming, that is just lovely.
Yeah, kind of looks like Rorschach.
Mm-hmm. It does. It does. But I love how they did this. And then this one here, very interesting, which may have not been much of anything at first, but this right here is going to be a new character by the name of Daniel Blade. Not related to Blade. I got excited for a second. He is a brand new character, and if he kind of looks familiar to some people, that is Michael Gandolfini. He is James Gandolfini's son, and the only thing that he said about his character is that he's from Staten Island. So maybe we're getting some kind of mob boss. Mob wives is coming through. So, and many people kind of get that the theory that maybe this is Fisk's son, or maybe somehow related to Fisk.
Kingpins? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Kingpins. Okay. Maybe a son, maybe a nephew, but that he could really shake things up and throw everything into complete chaos.
Yeah.
It would be interesting to see his family in there. And then we go into, these are more artwork by Muse, which is a bunch of hanging bodies. We don't know whether or not they're dead, but they are hanging in the earth, like they don't care. And, that also could be a part of the display thing. Get there, as you stated before, Banksy vibe to everything. And then we kind of get another fight scene, and a guy is stabbed in the eye with a piece of glass, which was a lovely combination. But it also goes into, this is going to be bloody. This is going to be horrific. We see a knee getting broken, but it's broken the other way. I was like, oh, that's yummy. And then this one here, him looking over his city like a Gotham villain, which is what I kind of love there. All right, we have more of the paintings, the mural. Maybe that's actually blood that's being used. Don't know.
I love the different masks. That was great.
The different masks. The different Daredevil masks, which did look really awesome. Oh, I don't know where I get the StreamYard thing. Hold on. I can't get rid of that thing. At the bottom. Sorry. So, kind of go into what the Fisk character is, and I'm sorry. All right. We're dying. I'm going to try to get rid of that banner that I don't know how it got up on there. Muse. What are your thoughts on Muse?
Muse is a cool villain. I think he's perfect for Daredevil, the Daredevil show. Like I said before, bringing him in for a rated R show. It makes a lot of sense. I hope that they. I mean, I don't want to go overboard, but let's hope that they go as violent as possible with him to establish him as a legit like threat. I'm wondering also because you mentioned before that this show is grounded and it's what we need for MCU because MCU is kind of fantastical. I'm wondering how they're going to handle him because, in a sense, Muse has superpowers. He has super speed, he has super strength, and he also, more importantly, for Daredevil, he has a power of like absorbing sensory energy around him so Daredevil can't detect him. Daredevil can't hear him. Daredevil can't like use his other senses to find him, which makes him an interesting villain. And I don't know how they're going to do that with this show. If they're going to stick to the whole grounded thing, or they're going to add just that little bit of fantastical, because we already know now Daredevil was in the MCU universe, so we know these crazy big characters exist. Thor and the Watcher and Ultron and all this stuff has happened before, so why not a couple of street level superpowered humans? So I would hope that they still do that with Muse, because that'll be a more interesting fight for Daredevil, where back in the other seasons of his show it was just grounded regular people with martial arts powers. That's pretty much it.
Mm-hmm. Well, we did see a lot of, I know in the teaser that they released a little while ago, that was like the clippings of all of the shows and movies of what's to come for 2025. They did show a lot of the grounded fight scenes. And in terms of, it looked like something out of Netflix, that kind of grounded, but we saw a lot of hallway scenes, a lot of scenes in darkness. Now, granted, it was only, very quick snippets, but that did look like it was natural and grounded and not someone of super speed and strength and kind of something from Captain America
Mm-hmm.
fight. So that could be a plus, and they can change his dynamic, Muse's dynamic to kind of make him more of just a regular person, really, who can just outsmart someone who has all of these powerful senses because he's blind. So hopefully that's the case, and it's not like I took a super soldier's serum.
That's what you want, which is understandable because you want it more realistic and grounded. But I still want a super villain aspect of things. Like I want Daredevil to have more of a challenge than just a crazy guy in a mask.
Okay, no, I understand that. No, that works. Got a little serial killery. It also gives me a little bit of Hannibal vibe, just a tad bit.
Mm-hmm.
So I did like that part, but I'm really kind of surprised that you want a little bit of that fantastical element.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be wild and crazy and colorful in any sense like we've gotten it with the actual like full length movies, but just a little bit of fun with the super villain stuff.
Right. That is true. And I'm wondering, do you feel that it could be too many characters at once? Because granted, this is just, this is going to be 9 episodes from my understanding, which is good. But at the same time, we're dealing with Punisher, Daredevil, Wilson, Bullseye, Muse, and you said there was that other person.
White Tiger.
White Tiger.
Yeah.
So, do you feel that that's too many characters at once?
For
and
9
it is renewed,
episodes,
by the way.
It is renewed already? Oh, it's great.
It's already renewed.
For 9 episodes, it might be. So I would assume they're probably just gonna have a little bit of a teaser for some characters. I would probably guess they're probably just gonna introduce John Bernthal for an episode or two to kind of like establish, okay, he's still alive and he's still kind of like doing his thing because they're gonna have his own show anyway. So why have him kind of like be front and center on a Daredevil show? That you just have to just show up, have him show up, so that way we know that he's okay and we know what he's kind of up to, you know. So I would also assume maybe Bullseye kind of taking the backseat a little bit. Maybe he just shows up and, you know, because he was in cuffs and he was walking down a courtroom, what looked like a courtroom hallway. So maybe it's just literally just like a couple of quick scenes of him being, you know, in a trial or something for everything that he did, and then that'll just be the end of it, I would assume. And, you know, maybe he'll make some short appearances here and there. Maybe the Daredevil needs his help or it needs information or something. I would hope. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I was trying to find the image of the cuffs.
The image. I would hope that it would put more of a focus, obviously, on Daredevil, but more of a focus on Muse and White Tiger. Because if you're going to introduce White Tiger, which is, I wouldn't really say a well-known superhero, but I think especially for the Latin community, he's a known superhero. If you're going to introduce a superhero like this, you got to give him more time to flesh him out a bit. And that's because also, you know, I don't agree with this. I'm not saying they should do this. I'm not saying that it's a good idea, but you know how Marvel gets when they introduce a new superhero, they want to do a whole new spinoff with that superhero. So if you're introducing that superhero and you want to make plans to make a movie out of him or a TV show or whatever, you need to flesh him out first. Like, you can't just throw him in for one episode or two and then just be like, okay, well, we got enough good responses from people and we're going to make a whole entire franchise out of him. No, don't do that. Just keep him there, make sure he's fleshed out, and then kind of give it some time to see where it goes. So but I hope they give him time is what I'm saying. So I'm hoping White Tiger and Muse gets just as much of the spotlight as Daredevil does. And of course, Kingpin.
Yeah, I do completely agree with that. And this also kind of makes me more again kind of agree with what you're saying, that in order for all of this to happen, we're going to have to say goodbye to Foggy and Karen. And they already had their stories, not to say they came to an end, but their stories were kind of resolved in the finale of season 3, where everyone was at peace. And, you know, we do need something for him to kind of get back into being a vigilante again, and Muse has to kill them. Maybe not both of them, but maybe both of them. Maybe they go on a date.
We're never gonna. I mean, they didn't want him on the show anyway, so they're probably just gonna write him off so they don't put him for the new season. I think it's wrong, but it's probably what's gonna happen.
Yeah, people just prepare for that angry moment. People are like, "Why did you do that?" Yeah. Oh my god! But yeah, you get to please the fans and also continue with what you wanted to do. Here's your little Foggy. And then boom. Explosion. And the explosion could be his law firm. Oh.
Maybe, actually, yeah.
Because it did say that, you know, his law firm has been very successful. And yeah, it would be another reason, you know, you're really a high-profile lawyer. That's some more reason to why to start bombing things. So that kind of also works as well. So yeah, so then I kind of agree with everything that you said, and I don't want a spinoff, as you stated. You know, here's another character, and here's a spinoff. Like Echo didn't need to exist,
right?
And I felt like Echo only existed for Kingpin, and it was just so unnecessary.
Yeah,
blessings, but it was unnecessary. But yeah, I do kind of feel that you are right. The White Tiger should be interesting. Is there anything else you want to kind of say about White Tiger? Because it did air or premiere, well, debuted for people who was at, I believe, D23.
I mention this every time we talk about a Latino character. I'm glad there's more Latino representation, so we'll have that on the show. I will say, sadly, though, if for anybody who doesn't know, he passed away, so don't expect much of him. So we'll probably get a recast. He passed away right after the show was done filming, which was in 2023. Yeah, so we won't be seeing this portrayal of him again if he does do well, which is sad. But yeah, Latino culture. I'm glad that they're making more of a presence now. So now we got a new Falcon in the Captain America movie, which is Latino. We got White Tiger showing up. Yeah, it's a good time.
About the character, aside from
About the
being
character.
Latino.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's like. But you want to say something else?
No,
No.
yeah, that's
Okay.
it. Just happy to see that, more of that.
He's like, no, I'm just happy he's Latino. We made it. Arriba la Rosa.
Okay, Eddie Guerrero.
Got a little Eddie Guerrero in there. It could have been White Tiger. So yeah, yeah, no, I'm kind of happy with this trailer. I'm nervous. Just only I know that Marvel can do dark. It's just that we've never seen dark unless it was outside of Marvel, which was remember Legion and maybe some Cloak and Dagger. I'm not really sure.
Legion
I
was
don't
so
remember
boring. Yeah,
that. Legion was
I didn't
boring to
enjoy
you?
Legion. Yeah.
Really? Okay, that's kind of sad. But all right then, no Legion. But yeah. So we do got some things, and we got White Tiger, and then kind of like for a little kind of overview of White Tiger, aside from him being Latino. For those who don't know, he appeared in the D23 trailer. He was only there for a couple of seconds, so it wasn't like there was this big long scene. It was, assumed to be Hector Elena. I think that's might be mispronouncing that.
Ayala.
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 Ayala. So it's Hector Ayala version of White Tiger, who was born and raised in Puerto Rico before coming to New York City. According to the comics, he attended Empire State University, which is the same university as Peter Parker, who wasn't at Columbia. So we also have that other connection. So you see, Peter Parker could be like, "Hey, I'm Peter," and everybody be like, "Who's that?"
Because they don't know. Everybody's brainwashed now.
Exactly. Remember, their memories are forgotten. So, as you stated before, he does have enhanced. Well, this is where you're really happy because you get your superpowers.
Well, actually, yeah. So yeah, you mentioned that because Muse has superpowers, but so does White Tiger.
Mm-hmm.
So White Tigers get his powers from like medallions and stuff. But in the picture, you only see like one chain with like a little pendant. So I'm wondering if that's a thing, or maybe they're just gonna have him as another vigilante with no superpowers to keep things grounded again. So I have no idea what they're doing, and I'd rather that they have superpowers.
But see, this also so they said Hector finds a set of 3 jade tiger amulets that's discarded by a group called the Son of Tigers. This allows him to transform into a superhero with enhanced strength and superhuman abilities, along with expertise in martial arts. Here's the thing, and this is like maybe I'm being too much when you overthink things. In Ironheart, the upcoming series of Ironheart, there are amulets that kind of give Red Hood superpowers. So I'm wondering.
You did it again.
I keep confusing Red Hood with the Hood, but yes, Red Hood, right? Red Hood?
No, the Hood.
Okay, no, the Hood. See, the thing, he's red. Why would you make it in the stinking What If episode? His head was red. It was red. The cape and everything was red.
I guess.
So the Red Hood, the Hood. So the Hood, basically, he has amulet as well that gives him superpower and super strength, which is who's going to be played by Anthony Ramos. Hi, Latino. So there could be a connection between that. Anyway, so as you stated, the actor who did play him was passed away, and this is his final character of his career, respectfully. And we do see that they did have an image where someone puts a gun to White Tiger's head. He's in the full White Tiger costume which kind of is the opposite looking. It looks kind of like Muse basically did the costume, but had money this time and wasn't like, here's this raggedy t-shirt and we're going to put it over our head. So we do have that. So that's kind of all that's really known in this adaptation about him. We do know that he is going to play a villain of some kind. Again, I'm worried about there being too many villains because they overshadow a lot of things. But, you know, if you start killing off people, that's a great way to answer. Or that just can also be lazy writing. Yeah, so we don't know. But was there any kind of final thoughts that you had on this trailer?
Trailer. No, that was pretty much it. I mean, it looks fun and violent. I'm looking forward to how they flesh out these new characters. I don't see the Muse lasting too long, but, like, you know, for like another season or two or anything like that. But I think it's great that they're pulling out deep cuts for villains and superheroes and stuff, and hopefully they get introduced into a more fleshed out character for like the MCU franchise in general.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with this, and hopefully this is not like just throw up a TVMA rating like they did for Echo, and it was like really no need for that at all. But it looks like it did. Again, that trailer did look hard hitting. We don't know, but I'm more positive about that than anything else that I've seen. So yeah, that is kind of our thoughts on the 2-minute trailer. We're speaking for almost an hour over a 2-minute trailer. Lord Jesus. I have been your host once again, Dana, and I am also here with Danny Martinez. So thank you very much for listening to us. Have a great day, afternoon, evening, and we'll see you with something else.